My name is Jonathan Knoxville, and this is Jack's Ass. I got this beaten down Honda Chally around Christmas time. It was rusty, lugged up, covered with mold, dirt, dust, and just about anything you can imagine. And now, almost a year later, this bike doesn't even seem like from the same multiverse. And what's even more, you've all been loving it. So thank you for all your support. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And now, let's get into it. Well, I got a few fun activities planned for you today, but first, we'll start with this external fuel tank here. This can no longer be. It looks ugly, it gets way too busy here, and it's about one step away from becoming a wireless fuel tank and burning down the second shop in my life. Well, that would not be a good idea. Use the original, some would say. It's already adequate size and it fits nicely in the bike, but in one of the previous episodes, which you can see probably here, I created this super slim tiny little seat here, which absolutely eliminates any possibility of using these mounting points. So, some would say use the plastic tank inside the seat, just like original came with. That brings us to my absolute favorite problem. It's good to have favorite problems. In one of the previous episodes, I built my absolute favorite thing I've ever made. And that is this under-seat exhaust, which goes all the way through here, inside the frame, through here next to the carburetor. Absolutely safe. Inside the seat, where would the fuel tank go? You let me know if you see any issues with that. Y'all guys know I'm a hillbilly, but it might be a little too extreme even for me. So we need to come up with something better. So here's what we'll do. We'll cut it here, make sure not to blow this whole place up, weld it back together, epoxy seal it, mount it, and be done with this. Let's go. I'm no expert in many things, well, really not in anything, but I learned that it's not actually the petrol that blows things up, it's actually the petrol fumes catching fire which creates the actual blow, which makes ancient fuel tanks like these still dangerous. It doesn't smell like gas at all, but we will take any and all possible precautions I can imagine to do this. And here's a disclaimer, I'm an idiot. I do things at my own risk. Do not do this at home or your mom will give you the spankies. Hello, hello. Just kidding, I knew nothing was gonna happen, or did I? The plan here is something like this. This is the fuel petcock from the fuel tank, and there's a hole for it. So technically we could place it here, because it would be good to be able to close the fuel so that nothing burns down to the ground. So here's one thing that's bothering me. The fuel tank is not really higher than the carb. So I don't know if the fuel flow will actually work. You guys let me know in the comments. Does this work? Is this enough or not? You let me know. I discovered that there's a bolt holding in the petcock, and that's really good because somehow I thought that you cannot remove this damn petcock, and it would make really complicated things when it comes to epoxy sealing stuff, because I would need to figure out how to plug the holes so that I can later unplug them. That there is that Phillips that I'm talking about, right there. If there's one thing I don't want to risk is stripping the top of this. Yep, yes! There is some deeper rust and I don't want to cover it with epoxy and let it rust. I will just put some anti-rust in there and lay it on the side and leave it for the night. For the meantime, we will look at something else. The carburetor here. So in effort to kind of try to keep the timeline steady for you guys, I decided to wear the same thing all the time. Yeah, that's right. I am currently wearing the biggest sacrifice for you because it's day 3, it's been pretty miserable and only I have one shirt of this kind. So basically what I'm trying to say is, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh, And also, I have stickers, these and these. If you want to grab some, there's a store down below. Come on. Now let's get back to getting something done. Let's go. Now, even after cleaning the carburetor completely in the previous episode, it still runs like crap. So you can start it with some open throttle, and if you keep the throttle above some revs, it won't stall. But as soon as you let go of the throttle, it just bogs down and that's it. But the bike runs pretty well and starts well if I give it some choke. So as long as it remains on choke, it actually works. As I said that while taking off the carburetor, I noticed one thing. Holy guacamole, there's a gap here. There's like a gap at least 1.5 millimeters, and there's a massive air leak on the carb, and that's why it doesn't run properly. Threads here was a cool idea initially, but the problem is that the heat of welding them in obviously bent this plate, which is causing our running issues, probably. If I can find one online, I'd buy it, but I couldn't. Y'all guys let me know where I can find that. Alright, now with this as smooth as your girlfriend's bum, let's mount it and see if it works better. Guys, I used some unprecedented, undisclosed amount of silicone on the intake tube, and I would appreciate if this information stays between us, okay? Because some of my welds, much to my surprise, actually leak. Incredible. Yep, no leaks whatsoever. It's finally time to mount it, and let's see if the bike works better with this. Alright, the carb is mounted, there's definitely no leaks anywhere there. 5 grams of gas and give it a couple of kicks with flip-flops because that's the best way. And we'll see if it runs better. If not, we come back tomorrow with vengeance. So we figured it out. It might be a combination of me being really dumb and putting the throttle all the way in, but it might be also a combination of air leaks on the intake. Alright guys, now we need to open the door to let the air in and finish up the gas tank. And we might even go for a test ride after. Let's go. I scuffed it up a little bit with the sandpaper so that epoxy has somewhere to hold on to when I seal it. And yeah, now there's nothing left to do then. Put it together. Let's go. God damn it. And we ran out of welding rods, so I guess it's a run to supermarket again. Went to the store, got myself the flux wire. Let's get to welding. Let's go. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because the welds are still ugly as heck, and I'm gonna cover it with Sikaflex just to make sure that it doesn't leak. For those of you wondering, Sikaflex is indeed mildly chemically resistant. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. And we are ready to finally epoxy coat it on the inside. As I said, I do it purely just for the rust not to come back. Just remember, this stuff is super sticky and it will leak through anywhere. So you have to make sure that you have sealed everything and the area is covered with something that you're ready to lose, because most likely it will find a way to leak out. Once you properly mixed up the epoxy and made sure that you've cleaned up the fuel tank and sealed the areas that you don't want, it's time to add the epoxy. There's nothing much to it. You enter the epoxy into the tank, Now that you've carried it like a baby for 20 minutes, it's probably time that you leak off whatever is excess in there and leave it for 24 hours. Let's go. I have good news and bad news. So 24 hours have passed and this bad boy has healed up and the epoxy looks super good on inside. So the seal has worked great. It's shiny on inside, it won't rust anymore and it will cover the inside of the tank. It's perfect. But sometimes I do surprise myself, okay? I forgot that I have to weld mount on this fuel tank. On the top side, we probably need to weld it on top, not anywhere on the bottom where it will be uber crucial. So I need to make like mounts from here and somewhere one mount from here. It's a dumb situation. I've come up with this, which will be the bracket for the tank. Let's make this happen from metal. So this one here is like a real responsible moment here. I either blow up, fuck up all the work that I've done for 4 days, or it's gonna work. Well, that went in there pretty well. Obviously, I'm gonna paint the tank afterwards and I'm gonna cover it with the golden heat shield thingy. And look at that, even the petcock area is where it's supposed to be. That's pretty cool. Let's hope it works. Will the fuel flow? Because the petcock is about here and the line is about here. Let's run the fuel line and let's see if it pulls the fuel, because I have no clue if it's gonna work or not. Let's try it. Oh, okay. Definitely leaking. Yep, nope, yep. Oh. Could have checked before, did I do that, eh? Come on, come on, come on. Where is it leaking? Why is it leaking? Where is it leaking from? It's weird, I realized that I almost never explain how this thing actually rides. Like, I never sit down and explain how the thing goes. The bike is sketchy as heck. It is so weird to ride. It feels like any type of lean immediately gonna touch the feet on the ground, and any type of turn it will just fall over. It's a heck of a lot of fun. It's a very exciting time. It goes pretty well and it finally works. As you can see that the bike doesn't stall anymore, so that's pretty good. And it actually doesn't really feel down on power. It feels like it's functioning pretty well, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. I spent like 5 days working on the fuel tank and still, yet again, you see me with this milk jug, as you like to call it. This guy thinks that it's a milk jug. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Is this somehow related to milk? As you can see it in the video, I got really pissed off in the whole thing because the petcock of the fuel tank was leaking massively and there was no fixing it. So it's done, but I need to fix the petcock. The next big landmark for this bike is to reach 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour, and I think it's perfectly doable with this engine. So we're gonna do that. Other than that, guys, you've been perfectly supportive. And fuck it, what else is there to say? Stay tough, motherfuckers.